time to feed these hungry viewers. Gotta feed them. They need content. Yeah, Chris. Hello, viewers. Mornings. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. Hey. Alright. Now, what do we got? Alright. Oh. Ryzen 9 9950X runs 16% faster on an Intel optimized Linux distro. Alright. Got 6 comments. Says here, Linux often lead Windows in benchmark comparison, at least for certain tasks. However, performance between different Linux distros can also vary drastically. Phoronix benchmark AMD latest Ryzen 9 9950X in 5 different Linux distros, including one featuring Intel optimization, and discovered the Zen 5 chip runs up to 16% faster with the Intel optimized distro. The distro in question is called Clear Linux, and it's purportedly one of the most highly optimized Linux distro for x86 processor. Clear Linux focus is to prioritize app performance by using a plethora of optimization across the entire operating system, including optimization made from the kernel, middleware, layers, and runtime. Says although advantage Clear Linux has over its contemporaries is dedicated optimization work done by Intel software engineers, helping to boost Clear Linux performance on x86 processors. In this case, it seems Intel engineers are helping out all x86 processors, including those from arch rival AMD. And it shows a little chart here. It says geometric means all test results, result composite AMD Ryzen 9 9950X Zen 5 Linux distro benchmark Clear Linux 42170, and then it shows in blue 598.58. Then Catchy OS 552.89. Then Arch Linux 535.88. And then Fedora Workstation 40 525.05. Then Ubuntu 24.10. .19. It says 517.35. Then for Ubuntu 24.4 LTS 516.09. Alright. Says here, Phoronix tested Clear Linux against an assortment of other Linux distros on the Ryzen 9 9950X, Ubuntu 24.4 LTS, Ubuntu 24.10, Fedora Workstation 40, Arch Linux, and Catchy OS. That last is another performance focused Linux distro that purportedly shares some of the same patches as Clear Linux. Across 59 benchmarks, Phoronix saw up to a 16% improvement in performance with Clear Linux compared to the slowest Linux distro that was tested, Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. Clear Linux came in first place, with Catchy OS, or Catchy OS comes in second, Arch Linux third, Fedora Workstation fourth, Ubuntu 24.10 fifth, and Ubuntu 24.4 coming in last. It says here, Phoronix testing revealed that OS levels CPU optimization can be extremely important for boosting CPU performance. A 16% performance difference is massive, basically matching the improvement seen by Ryzen 9 9950X over its 7950X predecessor. Says here, improving Ryzen 9 9950X performance under Linux show that Zen 5 has more fuel in the tank. How AMD latest and greatest stacks up to Intel CPUs including the upcoming Intel Arrow Lake offering, remains to be seen. Well, based on that last sentence, we know Tom's Hardware and Phoronix are going to do some testing on that. So anyway, we got let's see, we got how many comments we got? Let's see, we got about 6. Let's see if I can get to them. 6 comments. See what these readers talking about. All right, here we go. 6 comments. Don't run now. Come on now. Don't run away. Come back here. Computer try to run away from me here. Alright, here. Stop it. Okay. Jeremy said this. Interesting to see how Linux distro affects performance. I would also be interested to see these benchmarks run on the 7950X to get an even bigger comparison. Yeah, Tom's Hardware, you got some work to do here. Then Redgar said this. By the way, Phoronix went through an analysis of the new AVX512 UARch of Zen 5, which is absolutely breathtaking. It just proves how today's tech reviewers are nothing more than a bunch of influencers. When taking the geometric means of the 90 benchmark used for this AVX512 on-off comparison, Zen 5 AVX512 implementation with the Ryzen 9 9950X saw its performance grow up by 56%, while the Ryzen 9 7950X Zen 4 with it double pumped AVX 512 implementation saw its performance go up by 41%. Zen 4 AVX 512 was great, and now with Zen 5 it's even better, with the SKU having the full 512-bit data patch. This especially good news for Ryzen 9000 series. And then he says EPYC, Turin, etc. Yeah, when you come out with newer chips, man, I mean, you know AMD wasn't playing around when they were working on the Zen 5. If the Zen 5 is doing this, then what about the Zen 6 when that decided to come out? Anyway, Mitch said this. Go check that article. I think you find that what you're looking for, performance against the 7950X and against Windows 11. If you're extra polate running clear Linux with a 9950X versus Windows 11 gives you close to 25% extra performance with a 9950X. Yeah, and the tech fans are going nuts. Anyway, and then Jeremy says, by the way, Phoronix went through an analysis of the new AVX512 UARch of Zen 5, which is absolutely breathtaking. It just proves how today tech reviewers are nothing more than a bunch of influencers. That's what Redgar said. But then Jeremy said this. When taking the geometric means of the 90 benchmark used for this AVX512 on-off comparison, the Zen 5 AVX512 implementation with the Ryzen 9 9950X saw its performance go up by 56%, while the Ryzen 9 7950X Zen 4 with its double pumped Zen 4 AVX512 was great, and now with Zen 5 it's even better, with the SKU having the full 512-bit data pad. This is especially good news for Ryzen 9000 series. And then he says, how is this being an influencer? Did they state anything that wasn't factual? No. Oh my god. See if I got some more comments here. And then Jeremy comes back again, and he's like, oh. Jeremy comes back. He said, I was getting at how much extra performance does 7950X get in clear Linux, and that compared to the 9950X. And then DW say this. What? No Linux Mint? Considering how popular Mint it is, it's a glaring omission. Anyway, yeah. The Zen 5 is a powerful hard piece of tech, man. So of course you're gonna get better performance when you're running tests on it. And AMD is not slacking off by any means here. They're really stepping their game up, man. So to stay competitive. So this is good. This is good news for them. So yeah, you AMD fans, indulge yourself. Yeah. That new piece of tech that they come out with it's always going to perform a little better, than the previous. And Gamers Nexus, the Fox, Linus Tech Tips, Tom's Hardware, and all these other tech folks out there. They'll run tests on these hardware to see how it stack up versus the previous, so yeah, or the last gen models, and they will run different distros to see how the performance stack up. So this will keep the tech nerds happy, so to speak. So they got something to talk about now and some bragging rights. Yeah, AMD fans are going to be going at the Nvidia fans in the comments. So you know how that go. So yeah, and going at the Intel fans too. So, but what I find interesting too about this, see if I can get it. He said, I think in the last paragraph, if I'm not mistaken. If I can get this, so it says how AMD's latest and greatest stack up to Intel's CPU, including the upcoming Intel Arrow Lake offering. Well, you're gonna have to stick around to find out for that one. So, for Onyx, they'll be running some tests on that when the Arrow Lake is available. So, or is it available? So, yeah, we'll find out. But for now, Zen 5, folks. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars, Star Trek, or Dark Side. I'll go. Peace.